Good morning. This is a great day, very exciting day for Asheville and Buncombe County. I'm Paul Szurek. I'm the board chairman of the Economic Development Coalition. The EDC is a public-private partnership supporting quality jobs and community investment. Buncombe County, the city of Asheville, the city of Weaverville, and a group of private investors, dozens of them, enthusiastically invest in the EDC's program for job creation. They're part of the reason we're here today, and I'd like to thank them. More importantly, I'd like to express our great appreciation for the diligence and drive of all of you people in blue shirts here today, the GE employees. Your abilities and your leadership involved in this project are the reason we're here today. You are a tremendous asset to this community. We are honored and pleased to have you as our neighbors and our friends. And I'd like to everyone to join me in thanking the GE Aviation team. I'd like to thank a few other people who are here with us today. We're very pleased that Governor Pat McCrory is joined us, along with our Buncombe County delegation in the State House of Representatives and the North Carolina Senate. Tom Apodaca, Susan Fisher, Terry Van Dyne, Tim Moffitt, and Nathan Ramsey, we thank you for your support. We're also pleased to have here today Congressman Marc Meadows, our congressman for North Carolina's 11th District. Congressman, we're grateful for your interest and support of our local job creation. Next, I would like to ask our elected officials from the Buncombe County Commission and the Asheville City Council to stand and be recognized for their wisdom and their efforts in support of this tremendous factory. Please hold your applause, if you will, until all of them have been introduced. From the Buncombe County Commissioners, Chairman David Gantt, Vice Chair Holly Jones, Commissioner David King, Commissioner Joe Belcher, Commissioner Ellen Frost, Commissioner Mike Fryer, Commissioner Brownie Newman, County Manager Wanda Green, and Assistant County Manager John Creighton. And from the Asheville City Council, Mayor Esther Manheimer, although I understand Esther couldn't be here today, Vice Mayor Mark Hunt, Councilman Cecil Bothwell, Councilman Jan Davis, Councilman Chris Pelley, Councilman Gordon Smith, Councilwoman Gwen Whistler, City Manager Gary Jackson, and Sam Powers, our Economic Development Director. Please give all these people a big round of applause. I'd also like to thank Doug Durth from the town of Weaverville for being here. They are another great partner in the Economic Development Coalition. And I'd like to recognize the staff from Senator Richard Burr's and Senator Kay Hagan's offices for their attendance and support. Once again, for all of our elected leaders, the city and the county management and staff who work tirelessly in support of this project, could we just have one more round of applause for them? I'd also like to recognize some other allies and people who were very important in this effort. Please rise as I call your name, and we'll applaud when everyone's been introduced. From the North Carolina Department of Commerce, Bill Payne and Melissa Smith. From Duke Energy Progress, who is tremendously helpful in economic development, Jason Walls and Bill Roberts. From PSNC Energy, Lee McElrath and Davis Swaim. And from Asheville Buncombe Community Technical College, which is, as GE Aviation knows, is a great resource for talent development, President Dennis King and his staff. And from the EDC staff, which I honestly believe is one of the best in the nation, Ben Teague, and who is the director of the staff, and Tim Lampkin, who's our director of industry and retention and expansion, and we have a number of the rest of the staff here too who deserve recognition. And from the Chamber of Commerce, Kit Kramer, the president of the chamber, who supervises the EDC staff and spearheads its fundraising. Thank you all for your work in this, and thank you for being here today. It is now my distinct privilege to introduce our first speaker. In late 2012, then Governor-elect Pat McCrory was briefed very confidentially on this opportunity. From day one, he has been a tireless advocate to make sure North Carolina won this project. Governor, thank you for your support and thank you for being here today. Please join me in welcoming our governor, Pat McCrory.
Can it get any better than this? This is absolutely beautiful. And I'm just proud of the relationship North Carolina has with GE. I'll never forget, probably over a decade ago, the GE Board of Directors, led by Mr. Emmelt, came to Charlotte when I was mayor, and I was honored to greet them as mayor of Charlotte, never realizing a decade later as governor, we'd continue the great expansion of GE's investment throughout North Carolina. And I've got to tell this quick story. When I was governor-elect back in, I think it was December, over 17 months ago, I got a call from former Commerce Secretary Keith Crisco, who sadly has passed since then, but was a wonderful, wonderful public servant. And our thoughts ought to be with him and his family, but he really devoted his life to North Carolina. He worked for the previous administration. He called me up and he said, Mr. Governor-elect, I need you to meet with some GE representatives now in Raleigh. There's an opportunity to have them expand into Asheville, North Carolina. And so I had Randall and Mike come up. Randall, stand up. You got it, Mike. Stand up. I got to tell this story. Y'all give them a round of applause, because I had to overcome some obstacles in selling North Carolina. They came up to the Albemarle building in downtown Raleigh, where the governor-elect offices were, and we were on the 9th floor. The elevators were broken. They had to walk up all 9 floors to see me. And my office was a broken ceiling, no desk, broken chairs, and we literally had to put chairs and desks together to have our meeting. So it was myself, Keith Crisco, and also Tom Tillis and Phil Berger. And I didn't have to sell Asheville to Randall and Mike, because they were already sold on Asheville. And thank God I didn't have to sell the Albemarle building as showing North Carolina's strength, a building which, by the way, we're going to gut within the next year and gut the whole building and start all over in Raleigh. But I saw that Randall and Mike were committed to this project. And from there on out, we built a continued relationships. We stayed in touch. Sharon Decker, our new Commerce Secretary, came in and picked up right where Keith left off and continued to build a great relationship. We had a great relationship with the local officials and county officials here, who made several left-hand and right-hand turns to make this happen. Several dynamics occurred during this past year and a half, including the dynamics of this site that made it happen. And without your local officials' leadership showing the flexibility, I don't think this would have happened. 1 minute we had it, the next minute we didn't, then we had it again. So I do want to compliment your local elected officials in our Commerce Department for keeping adapting to make this project happen. And again, it's just amazing that we are here just several months ago, I think a little further down this parking lot, and I remember they showed me this lot with all the men and women in the blue shirts on where this new building was going to go, and I remember going, how? And look what's happened in such a beautiful short period of time. And it's a great building. I look forward to my tour in a few minutes, but Randall and Mike, I just want to thank you for sticking with us And y'all have done a great job. Colleen, thank you very much also. I know you've played an integral part of this, and it's been a team effort between the state, the local people, the local economic developers, and again, I want to thank Keith Crisco and his family for helping out too. GE Aviation is just leading the way with aviation growing throughout North Carolina. As you know, I'm a firm believer that manufacturing is helping North Carolina get out of this very, very difficult recession. Manufacturing is where you build things and make things and innovate things and design things. And that's the future of North Carolina, and it's the past of North Carolina. And it's an industry that we have to continually respect and grow and support in any way we can. And I'm telling you right here, these engines right here are the innovation between the materials and the design. This is artwork. This is the ultimate artwork of engineering that you have to respect. And it's creating jobs, and it's creating jobs that we should never take for granted. 242 new jobs because of this great new expansion. And those are jobs that are needed in North Carolina, they're needed in the West, and I'm just proud of the talent that is needed to fill these jobs. And I also want to compliment the people in blue, because if you're really responsible for this expansion more than anyone else, not the governor or the mayor or the county chairman or the congressman, it's the current employees of GE that made this happen. Because if you had not shown the talent during the past several years, GE would have given up on this and would have never considered expansion. But your management team bragged on your work ethic, your technical expertise, and your commitment to GE as a company. And without that, we would not have this further expansion. So let's give the people in blue a round of applause, because they're really the ones who made this happen. Can you imagine Wilbur and Orville Wright being here right now from 1903 at Kitty Hawk, and then us building this in the mountains, 6 hours away by car at least? And that's just so how far advanced the technology has come, and that technology is right here in North Carolina. There are more than 9,500 people in North Carolina working right now in aerospace. It is booming. It is leading the way in technology, and we're going to continue to expand aerospace in North Carolina with GE leading the way. And I also want to single out another special person in the audience, and that's someone coming from education. And that's Chip Singleton. Chip, would you please stand? Or raise your hand. Where are you, Chip? I know you're here. He's way in the back with his wife, Pat. They're in the very back. I want y'all to come up here. I want Pat, Chip. I want everyone to see you. Come up here and stand up here, ladies and gentlemen. This is an educator that helped make this happen. Pisgah High School machine shop teacher. Everyone stand up and give them a round of applause. This is what it's all about right here. And I want the students of CHIP to come over here. Y'all come on over here. I'm going to tell a story. I see the 3 students. Y'all come on over here. I got to meet you briefly. Well, how many more students you got here?
About 30.
They're here?
About 50.
All right, I got these 3 guys right here to represent all the students. I got 4 of them. Let me tell you a quick story here. Chip was an employee here in Asheville in the 1980s, but made the decision to leave GE Aviation to get his teaching degree. Now he teaches machine shop at Pisgah High. Yet after he left GE, Chip continued to understand and value. Y'all please sit down. Y'all need to stand during all this. Y'all look at these people and respect them. Chip continued to understand and value the skills needed to grow a successful economy in the Asheville area. So he tailored his high school program to fit the needs of GE. He actually wrote the trainee program for GE apprentices. And GE has hired over 30 employees over the years that have gone through his program. Isn't that amazing? This guy led the way. And recently his class has been working on a GE motorcycle. His students dedicated the motorcycle to this facility, and now I just saw it in the lobby of this building. It is the coolest motorcycle. So after you eat and after this ceremony is over, you will see the neatest motorcycle, but when you see it, it shows the commitment to craftsmen, to engineering, to technical skills that we desperately need to fill the skills gap, not only in North Carolina, but in this nation. And without people like Chip, that wouldn't be happening. So another round of applause for Chip and Patricia and his students. This is the future of North Carolina and are the ones that made it happen. Thank you very much, Chip. So Mike, if you could come up, and also if I could get Randy to come up too. Mike and Randy, I want you to both come up because this is a long way from the Albemarle building in Raleigh, North Carolina, with broken desks and broken chairs that you still remember, and you reminded me of that just a few minutes ago. I just want to say they helped convince GE management to expand here in Asheville. There's no doubt without their commitment and understanding of the work ethic, the great quality of life here, this wouldn't have happened. And I've enjoyed becoming friends with you, and we want to continue to, I think we could find more space for even more expansion. Isn't that right, Kit? I see Kit, who's the head of the Chamber of Commerce here in the back. On behalf of North Carolina, I just want to give you a book which says Our North Carolina, and there's some beautiful picture of the mountains right here in Asheville. God bless each one of you, and thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Next, I'd like to welcome to the podium the chair of the Buncombe County Commission, David Gantt. David is in his 5th term of service on the commission, and throughout that time he has been a friend and a constant champion of growing new and better jobs for our citizens, and he was very instrumental in building the collaborative community support that made this project happen. We all owe a debt of gratitude to David and his fellow commissioners for making this day a reality. Thank you, David, for your support, and
Thank you, Paul.
the podium's all yours.
Thank you. Who would have thought, even this morning, that there wouldn't be a cloud in the sky? Well, maybe on the distance there, heading away from us. What a beautiful morning. What a beautiful time. Let's look at this building. Thank you, everyone who's responsible, and most of all, the men and women in blue. Because what the governor said is exactly right. Without you, this doesn't happen. I would also like the commissioners to stand one more time. And Holly Jones, she had a work conflict. But we have David King, Ellen Frost, Brownie Newman, Mike Fryer, and Joe Belcher, as well as Wanda Green. And I'm going to tell you a story in a little bit, but y'all stand up, and I want you to give them one more hand. What the governor said about the ins and outs is true. It was about like this podium, which is one of the cooler podiums I've ever seen. There were a lot of ins and outs to get this done. But today, we gather to celebrate a momentous day in Buncombe County history and all of our advanced manufacturing, because we're proud of what we have here. We've been cutting a lot of ribbons, but we particularly like to cut the ones that have manufacturing, because we know they're going to be here. We know they're going to be long-lasting. And with what you have here, although I'm a little bit scared to be between a timer and a machine, you know, there's always a fear of public speaking. The timer runs out and the machine does something. But I tell you what, that's a good one. But I'm so proud of everyone here. I'm proud to be part of this, a small part of it. But we've all felt the incredible spirit of partnership with GE Aviation. And I can personally say it's a strong and rewarding relationship between GE and Buncombe County. GE wouldn't have built this new flagship facility here if it weren't for our skilled labor. They saved 300 jobs and will add about 50 more good-paying jobs. And that's what this is all about. It's about giving people opportunities to pull themselves up and do better. And let's give the workers one more hand, because y'all make it happen. We're proud of you, every one of you. You made this opportunity possible. You're going to be the first ones in the world to create this innovative CMC components for jet engines that's going to totally transform the entire aviation industry. And you know that better. We're going to hear some other folks that give you some more details. But let me tell you one of the twists and turns that happened. Because last time I was on this site, we were down there, Governor, and we were cutting the ribbon. We had the dirt, and a couple things happened that I'll never forget. One of them was when the workers came walking down that road, it gave me goosebumps because I knew y'all made this happen. But the other thing that happened before, and it involves our county manager. If I could just have a brief moment to explain what happened. This is a big building. GE needed a lot of room. You didn't have enough room over there. So we worked, Ben Teague, Wanda Green, John Creighton, all of the workers tried to figure out, Kit Kramer, where can we put this? We had several sites, just didn't work out for various reasons. And you know, it's kind of like a football game. We're in the fourth quarter, there are a couple minutes left. The time's running out. And what are we going to do? We don't have enough room here. The sites we want to do are gone. And Wanda Green, she threw the Hail Mary pass, to use a football analogy. Because this site used to be Old Dominion Trucking. They'd been here about 7 or 8 years. And Wanda Green went to new old Dominion Trucking, knocked on the door and said, "Would you mind moving?" They said, after they said, "What?" Say what? They talked to her. And Wanda Green spearheaded and came up with the idea, let's buy you another place to build your place between Interstate 26 and Interstate 40. We'll build it for you. You swap us this land that we really need that's right next to GE to make this happen. We'll build the building. We'll work with GE. We'll make it happen. If you'll just give up your business site and move. And you know, darned if they didn't. And that's why we're here today. Old Dominion was a good neighbor and did the right thing. We built their place in 4 months. Colleen, I'm sorry, we took 10 months to bid this one. A little bit. I guess we got behind, but in 10 months from demolition, because if you remember, Governor, right after the meeting, they started swinging the ball to take it down. And 10 months later, we had this beautiful world-class facility, and I'm so proud that we can do this. The celebration is about the future. This facility will not only employ our children, it will employ our grandchildren and their children. In 50 years, the people of Buncombe County will be coming here to this fine facility in this beautiful valley to build innovative products for the entire world. But it didn't happen by chance, and it's often said it takes a long time to become an overnight success. And I think I've given you one of the twists and turns in the county's part of this. Some time ago, our community recognized our citizens' talent in manufacturing, and we created a strategy called the Asheville 5x5 to pursue and go after world-class companies like GE. Today, in part, we celebrate that vision. We're committed to then, now, and the future, providing our workforce with the resources and education they need to compete in a very global economy. Met some nice gentlemen from Italy on the second row there. Thank y'all for coming. Have a facility in Hickory, I think you said, and we're looking forward to working with you here. Thank you for making the trip. Through a partnership with our outstanding community college, AB Tech, a state-of-the-art composite center of excellence is opening this week to train these employees. And just like our teacher, our educational facilities will do what you need to succeed. You just need to talk to us. And that's not a hollow promise. We have decades of doing this, and we're going to continue to do this whenever you need things from us. And likewise, our Buncombe County school system is developing our curriculum to better connect with workforce skills and prepare students for incredible careers right here in their hometown. We don't want to export our best and brightest. For example, just a few months ago, we opened a Martin Nesbitt Discovery Academy. This high school is a STEM school based on science, technology, engineering, and math. And GE was kind enough today to invite some of our students from the Discovery Academy who are here today. And we have Principal Nathan Allison. And students, would y'all stand up because you are the future? They had a great tour. Let's give them a hand. Thank you. We just had an opening a couple of months ago, and it is a fantastic facility. I think it's a world-class facility, Principal. And thank you for your hard work to make that happen. Lastly, I'd like to thank again the county commissioners and our staff, particularly Wanda Green and John Creighton, who oversaw. He is the contractor extraordinaire. We've probably in Buncombe County in the last 10 years built over $250 million worth of schools, libraries, facilities. He knows how to do it. We're proud of you, John. We're proud of you, Wanda. Thank you so much for what you've done to make these things happen, because they don't happen. The hard work is behind the scenes, not up front. And this is a truly exceptional day in many ways. Building, sky. Those clouds are gone, by the way. If I keep talking, maybe another rain cloud will come up, so my time's probably about up. But I want to tell you, thank you, GE. Thank you, workers. Thank y'all for coming down. This is going to be a great thing for everybody, and we're glad to be part of it. Congratulations. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Asheville's Vice Mayor, Marc. Marc's commitment and leadership in the community are well known. He served on City Council since 2011, and he became Vice Mayor last year. He's also a board member, a very valued board member of the Economic Development Coalition. As has been mentioned, this project required a serious collaborative effort from all of our different governmental entities, and Marc was one of the key people involved in making that happen. I'm delighted to have him to the podium, Councilman Marc Hunt.
So when your colleagues on a city council appoint you as vice mayor for a couple of years, the main thing that involves is showing up to welcome out-of-town conventions, ribbon cuttings at convenience stores maybe, welcoming a garden club, that sort of thing. But this is an event that I would not have expected to stand in for the mayor, and she has a conflict that was impossible to resolve. And she sends her best to GE Aviation and everybody involved here. And since she's not here, I just have to say the governor, Mr. Chairman, the behind-the-scenes stories that you're glad to share are true. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes partnership, and it takes trust. And our mayor, Esther Mannheimer, others of us on council, Sam Powers, our economic development director, I saw here. I don't know if Gary Jackson is here, but he's here. There he is. He's here. It really once you get into a role like mine, you begin to appreciate the very difficult and challenging sometimes efforts it takes to team and collaborate, and plenty of that went on, and the city did its part as well here, and we're just delighted to be part of this. Today marks a significant milestone for this community and for the future of aviation. We're standing at the cornerstone in time for this new facility where GE Aviation's groundbreaking technology will transform the industry globally. We're privileged GE Aviation chose the Asheville community as its innovation center to lead the world in mass production of CMC jet engine components. And we're proud that GE Aviation chose this workforce, the citizens of this community, which we honor here today as part of that. This technology will cut hundreds of millions of dollars in fuel costs for airlines, reducing fuel consumption and emissions by 15%. That's enormous. Asheville is becoming a leader in developing innovative green technologies. And so it runs deep in the ethos of our business and our citizens for this to happen here. GE is a Fortune 10 company that continues to excel in organizational leadership. This building here is a beautiful facility, but it's also much more. It's built with sincere concern for its employees and the environment. It features open workspaces to facilitate communication and collaboration, mountain views, especially on a day like this, fitness facilities, and much more. This is advanced manufacturing in the 21st century, and it's right here in Asheville and Buncombe County. Guys, we appreciate your investment in Asheville's future and the important roles you play in our community. The employees of GE Aviation here they and their children will join us in our neighborhoods, in our parks and playgrounds. The kids will play in our little leagues. You'll sit beside us in church and school and elsewhere around the community. And it's a true partnership at the human level. We appreciate the opportunity to be with you, and we are eager to continue to partner more. Thank you so much.
Next up is Marc Meadows, Congressman for North Carolina's 11th District. Marc has been an advocate for pro-growth jobs policies in Washington, D.C., and has contributed to our efforts to attract more companies to North Carolina. Please join me in welcoming Congressman Marc Meadows.
Well, it is an honor to be here today because this is truly a historic event. You know, when you look at this, what the message that we want to go out to all those that are looking to do business in North Carolina is that we've got a team, a hand-in-glove approach from City Council, Vice Mayor, the County Commission, to Raleigh, to Washington, D.C. Very diverse backgrounds, but all working together to make sure that Asheville is ready to do business. And so I want to just congratulate all the workers on this great historic day. Today we cut a ribbon. Tomorrow we start to export Asheville across this country and across the world. It is not underselling it at all to say that what we're doing here truly will revolutionize the aviation industry. You know, sitting on the aviation subcommittee, I get to see it up close and personal. And it is with pride. I was sharing earlier, it is with pride. You automatically want to put on one of those blue shirts and say that you're part of GE Aviation. And so we have a license plate here in this state that says First in Flight. I look forward to the day, because of what GE has done, the investment that's made here, that we have a new license plate that says Best in Flight. And so today it is an honor that I get to join you in this celebration, and I look forward to exporting Asheville across the world. God bless.
Now we're fortunate to hear from GE Aviation. Sanjay Correa is the brilliant leader of GE Aviation's Ceramics Matrix Composite Program, CMC program. Sanjay has been with GE for over 30 years, engineering innovative technologies and directing teams around the world from Cincinnati to India. He holds a PhD degree in aerospace engineering and has produced 15 U.S. patents. Please welcome Sanjay to the platform.
Thank you, Paul. Well, he wasn't available, but I came in his place. So thank you, Paul, and good morning to all of you. Governor, we put shovels, as others have said, the other end of this parking lot last November, and today, hardly 11 months later, here we are to open the world's first CMC parts factory. I said at the time, first in flight should be first in CMCs, because it's true, so you can work on the front row here to see if you can make that happen. What happened since we broke ground out there? The world's appetite for these parts has swelled. Let me share just 2 examples. The orders book for the LEAP family of engines is approaching 8,000. So what does that mean? That's 4,000 jets that'll carry 150 to 200 passengers each. 4,000 jets, 150 to 200 passengers each, are waiting for parts that'll come out of this building. That kind of tells you how important that is. CMCs are all over the GE 9X engine, which is our next generation, very, very big engine for the Boeing 777 replacement. That's a wide-body jet that'll carry 300-400 people, 12,000 miles, and that has even more CMC parts in it than this first LEAP engine. Now, why have these engines been selected? It's mostly because of their fuel efficiency, their durability, and some other characteristics. And in our terms, how efficient are they? These airplanes will get almost 100 seat miles a gallon. Now stop and think about that, almost 100 seat miles a gallon. At 550 miles an hour, and in a straight line. So wouldn't you love to do that on your commute? Is this combination of GE's next generation materials, frankly, a story that has played out in the metals world, all the way up through superalloys, the metal superalloys that these CMC parts will replace, to this new generation of CMC materials, ceramic matrix composite materials. And that's why there's so much longevity here. CMCs will do to metals kind of what aluminum did to wood in the airframes of old, almost 100 years ago now. That combination of the best technology, the science, if you will, and the scale, doing it at scale, and the workforce with the talent is really the best bet for any community for sustainable jobs into the future. And really that's something that we all together have to work on. We put in the science, this investment, and you have the fantastic workforce and the ethic, which, to the points made earlier, is why we came here through Randall and Mike and others. So there are many, many thank yous to be said. Many have been said from the GE side. I'll start, and the next speaker will cover some more. Governor, our thanks to you, to Senator Decker, Congressman Meadows, and the many, many other distinguished guests here. The governor would like you all to recognize the state legislature, the senators and the representatives who got the job development grant. Please stand and be recognized. We'd like to thank the BL Harbert Company for building this facility on time despite a harsh winter. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Billy, who we met this morning. So please stand and be recognized. We're very, very proud. Thank you. I know you all had a lot of challenges with a tough winter, but I got to tell you, getting the weather down to the hour really just takes the cake. We'd like to thank AB Tech. So thank you, Betty and Kevin. If you're here, please stand and be recognized. We look forward to a continued partnership with you. So a round of applause for AB Tech. They're helping to train our prospective employees as we transition from metalworking into this ceramic matrix composite material. I'd also like to recognize someone I grew up with in GE, Colleen Athens. Please, Colleen. The Vice President for the GE Aviation Supply Chain. If you haven't met Colleen, please do. She's been a great partner for me over the years and for the rest of the CMC team, and she's really the guiding light behind the investment that the GE Aviation Supply Chain makes in the state of North Carolina. And finally, a thanks to what has been called the Blue Shirts, my colleagues here in Asheville. It's your fantastic work on the other side of those trees that brought us here today. So congratulations on this historic milestone, and I look forward very much to your continuing success. Thank you.
Mike Kauffman has served with GE for 20 years in many important leadership roles, again, overseeing operations around the world. Since July of last year, Mike has been general manager of the composites value stream, and which includes the current expansion of the CMC turbine components, including this factory. Please welcome Mike Kauffman to the podium.
Wow. I mean, honestly, this is unbelievably amazing. And I want to, you've heard this story about some of the local challenges, and I want to just share the inside GE perspective on that. So the original plan was to repurpose the facility there, and how could we upgrade and make some changes and potentially buy out that facility to the point where we could be doing CMCs up there. And as you've heard, and we won't go through all of them, but just a number of challenges kept coming at us that wasn't going to work, the other sites weren't going to work. And I remember I was down here for a visit with Mike and Jeff Bowman, the facilities leader. We were out at lunch, and we're racking our brains thinking, this probably is not going to work. We're not going to be able to pull this off. And Mike asked me, he said, what, I got something I want to show you. And he drove me in his car after lunch. Bowman and I came down to the bottom of this driveway back when it was Old Dominion. Gates were locked, and we sat outside, and he said, here's where our new CMC facility is going to go. And I said, a new build? I said, in case you haven't noticed, guys, there's somebody already on this property, right? It doesn't work with the timeline. We don't even know if we can get it. It's not the economics. There's no way you can have this and make the economics work out. And I got to tell you, Mike said, give us a chance, give the local team a chance. And I said, good, you got like 3 days, because we got to start rolling up these decisions. And here it is. I mean, this is the work of that collection of the county, the Economic Development Commission. To build this in 10 months, B.L. Hubbard, honestly, there was a lot of things when we started to face into this. I thought, there's virtually no way we'll be here today, and certainly not as successful as we are. So congratulations and a round of applause to everybody for that. Today we're here to celebrate the opening and dedication of this facility, which will be known for revolutionizing aviation industry. Asheville will take its place in the history books with the sites such as Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, and I have to mention Dayton, Ohio. Orville and Wilbur Wright would be beaming with pride if they could be here today. You've heard much about the new components and material in the system GE Aviation will produce here. These components are lighter, they're more heat resistant, corrosion resistant, and more durable. And all of that allows us to build engines which burn less fuel, fly longer, fly further, and have lower emissions. This facility, and more importantly, the people here in Asheville, will change the way we fly forever. CMCs are just the latest in a long line of courageous innovations for GE Aviation. In the early 80s, GE first bet on the high bypass turbofan, which changed commercial aviation forever. In the late 80s and 90s, single crystal turbine blades, it's metallurgy, it's metal, and advanced powder alloys, which is exactly what the current site uses, are really the parents and the precursor to this new and exciting material system that we have. Then 20 years ago, we launched the world's most powerful jet engine, the GE90, featuring the first ever all-composite fan blades. At the time, we were mocked in the industry. They mocked us for having plastic fan blades, and today we are the industry standard that everyone is still trying to replicate. Just like those fan blades, we heard CMCs will never fly. I believe that was actually on the cover of Aviation Week. Well, I'm here to tell everyone, not only have we completed many thousands of hours of ground testing, but on Monday, October 6, 2014, our CMCs made their maiden flight in our test bed, performing beyond our expectations. So yes, CMCs have flown, and they will for many generations. No turning back. Asheville and everyone here, you have a date with aviation destiny. On June 6, 2016, our LEAP engines fitted on the Airbus A320neo will enter service for the first time in revenue passenger service with CMC shrouds made here at this Asheville facility. So now this is, and that is our countdown to your entry into service in changing aviation history. So it's aspirational and inspirational. It's also a lasting reminder to Mike and the Asheville team that we've got a lot of work to do between now and then. Commercial aviation will never be the same, and you will rightly take your place in the history books. Truly, you are inventing the future of flight, lifting people up and bringing them home safely. With that, I'd like to call Mike Meguiar up. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to commemorate the opening of this facility and the dedication to the CMC production for GE Aviation. Presenting Mike a plaque to commemorate that on October 15th, 2014, we here enter the next generation of aviation history.
You know, it's pretty rare, but every once in a while you work for a group of people that really inspire you, challenge you, and that's what I'm blessed with Mike and Randy, Colleen, Sanjay, just amazing team that supported us over the last 18 months. At the same time, you got a group of employees that just have this passion to win and an ability to be resilient over time, and that's what this employee base gives us. And then we've got this local community that embraces GE Aviation, supports growth and innovation, and I tell you, it's that perfect storm that we have between those three that is just, it's going to be amazing to see what we're going to do over the next several years. So again, I want to close with that. You know, thanks everyone for coming out and supporting us during this amazing day. You know, a couple of logistics. We're going to have a ribbon cutting actually in the front. We'd ask that everyone to please stay in the asphalted area. Shortly thereafter, we'll have some media time. We would ask that media not enter the building. And then shortly after, we will start with shop tours, guided, and which we encourage you to participate in. It's amazing to see the technology. We've already started in this building, and it's just a very exciting time to be here. So thanks everyone for attending, and have a great day.